Hey, good morning to all y'all out there this morning. This is William. I'm out here in William's backyard with all my sentient friends and neighbors out here, all the plants and shrubs and all the life out here. I got a little show I want to start working on with you guys for today. Not just for today, but it's going to be an ongoing thing. I want to talk to y'all about a couple of different things, and I want to try to tie some things in together that most people don't think about as being together if they think about them at all. Y'all have to forgive my voice today. I'm still fighting a wee bit of bronchitis and upper respiratory, what they used to call URI, upper respiratory infection. I think they call it some other kind of crap now, but it's the same thing. Get a big old hacking cough and just can't get rid of that shit. I've had it now for over 2 weeks, but it'll go. It'll pass. It's just like everything will pass. Nothing stays the same. Excuse me. I got two basic jobs on this earth the rest of the time I got here. One of them is to hopefully make people smile, and I'm fairly good at that. I've been doing pretty well. But the other is to pass along some information that I have learned over the course of my almost 80 years now. But it's kind of interesting, I think, to me anyway. Now, I don't know whether it would be to you or not, but what about, I think we're going to call this show, Do You Know or Did You Know? I don't know which way to call it. What's better, Do You Know or Did You Know? I think Did You Know, Did You Know, or Do You Know? I don't know. Either way, y'all tell me what you want me to call it, and I'll call it that. How's that sound? Well, did you know that probably the best person on the face of this earth to talk to about extraterrestrials, UAPs, UFOs, disclosure, and stuff like that is Dr. Stephen Greer. He's been chasing that stuff now for over 30 years, and he's done a pretty good job of informing the public of what's going on and why. And right now, he's chasing and trying to keep and prevent, he's trying to prevent some bad guys, the bad guys. Every story's got to have a bad guy. I mean, how you going to have a hero if you don't have a bad guy, right? You got to have a bad guy. So the bad guys in his story, and I'm inclined to agree with him, are what we call the deep state. There's got a lot of different names for them, but they're basically what it is that there's a bunch of folks out there that are doing black research. They got black sites, black stuff, black budget, with no oversight, no supervision. They're on their own. Basically, they're a government on their own. They got their own Air Force, they got their own Army, they got their own, I don't know about the Navy, but I guess they definitely damn sure got their own Space Force, because they have recreated a bunch of extraterrestrial vehicles that they either shot down or found or both, and have been able to reverse engineer a lot of the technology, including anti-gravity is what we call it. That's been around, according to Dr. Greer, since 1954. Think about that, 1954. What were you doing in 54? Most of you guys weren't even alive in 54. I was alive. I didn't know shit at 54, but I was alive. I knew about Elvis. Yes, sir, I knew about some Elvis. I had me some Elvis. Yeah. But anyway, that's one of the things I want to talk to y'all about. And then there's something that I enjoy talking about and listening to, and that's something that's called the next end of the world. Not the end of the world, but the next end of the world. Now, how can you have a next? If to have a next, you got to have a first or a second. You know, you can't be having no next if you don't have a first. So where'd the first end of the world come from, or the second one, or the other ones, the previous ones? Where did they come from? Tell me that. I know the answer. I just wondered if y'all know. What and where did the first or second or third end of the world come from? Well, actually, there's a couple of fellows out there that got theories on that, and although they're dissimilar in some respects, they've got a lot of similarities to them. The old timer on the floor, and he's like the old senator who's been out there a million years and doddering around on an old cane, and got more money than God, and he's just been forever. But anyway, the old guy on the scene, and he's not old, his name's Ben Davidson, and he got his start with Suspicious Observers here a long time, maybe 20 years now, I don't know, 15, 20 years. So it's not a huge long time, but it's been around a while. The theory's been around for longer than that. But that's what he called it, was the next end of the world. And then the newcomer to this scene is Dr. Roger Cunningham. And he has something that he calls the EDCO or ECDO theory. And I'm not going to try to tell you what that is, because I can't pronounce half the words in it, because some of them are French and some of them are convoluted words that are about yay long, So, those are the two folks that talk about those two things. And like I said, they have different theories, different ideas about how things work. But basically, when you get right down to it, they're talking about the same thing, that basically the world has a series of cyclical disaster events every so often. And here again, the timing may change, it may differ between the two, but the fact is that they're cyclical, and consequently that means that they happen over and over again. And there is some proof to that. There is some hard substance to what they say. I'll get into that for you if we go down the road. And then there's another topic I want to bring up, and that's metaphysical stuff. Hey, baby, I like me some metaphysical stuff. Yes, I do. I can talk about metaphysical. I'm experienced in metaphysical. I've been crazy all my life. That makes me a metaphysical genius, doesn't it? Yes, sir, it does. You betcha. You got to be a little crazy to want to talk about metaphysical stuff. That's my job. I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, I like to talk about it. People think I am crazy, but maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? Time will tell. So that's what my program's going to be about, basically, and it's talking about those things. And there in terms of, let me back up just a minute. I almost skipped something here. When you start talking about metaphysical, one of the things that you always want to include in the last few years is something called the shift, the Earth shift. And this is a process by which the denizens of this earth, and in fact, let me back up again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do that on a regular basis. I feel like my mind's in a sports car and my body's and the talking part of it's in a old beat up Ford pickup truck. But anyway, metaphysical, we're talking about the shift. Okay. What is the shift? Well, this gets into some pretty die-hard metaphysical stuff, because in order to understand the shift, you have to understand the fact that everybody on this earth, including the earth, has a soul, which most of you have already figured that out because you woke up this morning. And that means you got a soul. If you woke up this morning, you got a soul. Now, if you didn't wake up this morning, which some folks didn't, they got up out of bed this morning, they looked in the mirror and there wasn't nothing there. And they turned around, they looked back at the bed, holy sugar stuff, there they were laying in the bed. So how can you be laying in the bed but not laying in the bed? Well, that's what happens sometimes when your soul, you die and your soul crawls up out of your dumb dead ass body, because it's starting to stink already, probably, and you don't like eat stinky, you know. Anyway, so your soul crawls up out of your body, gives it a good kick or two, makes sure it's dead, and then it just kind of starts looking up and sees this big old light or whatever the process may be, and there's a bunch of theories about that too. But he goes on up his way, and he goes into the spirit world and does his thing. But the key part here that you have to be able to understand and comprehend is that your soul is eternal. Your soul does not die. Jesus Christ did not come to earth to save your, what did they call it? Mortal soul. Yeah, Jesus did not come to earth to save your mortal soul, because your soul is already immortal. It does not die. Your soul has been around a lot longer than this planet. It's been around since forever. Yeah, it's a good word, forever. You know, I don't want to get too deep. I'll run everybody off to start with, and I need an audience for me to have somebody to talk to besides this phone, because then I really get to looking a little weird. I get talking to myself again, and then my wife comes in. She says, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "Dog. Talking to the dog. Talking to the dog." I do have a dog, by the way, and I can talk to that dog no matter where that dog is. He might not even be in the same county, and I can talk to that dog. You better believe I can talk to that dog, and I can talk up me a storm to that dog, too. So, anyway, anywho, anywhere, those are kind of the things. And what the difference between what I want to do and what other folks are doing is, I want to try to tie all of those things in together. Now, how are you going to ask me? You say to me, and I can see a couple of you out there. This crazy mofo has lost his mind. Maybe. It wouldn't be the first time. Ain't that fun, folks? Ain't that just a hoot? Me and Doc Holliday out here hacking our brains out. Well, he's done hacked all he's gonna hack, but I'm not. So anyway, that's my plan. I want to talk to y'all about metaphysical stuff, including the shift. I want to talk about your souls. Oh man, boy, that was a hard one. And then I want to talk to y'all about the cyclical disaster cycles, or the next end of the world. The Hopis have a theory about that, and have had for a long time, if not forever. Did you know that the Hopis are one of the longest surviving indigenous tribes in the world? The Hopis and the Aborigines over in Australia. They're kind of old folks that have been around a long time. But anyway, they have a theory about that stuff that I'll get into with you later. And then, so we're talking about tying in metaphysical, the disaster cycle, the next end of the world. We're talking about tying in UFOs, UAPs, disclosure, and oh yeah, disclosure. That could lead to what? The fake alien invasion. You know, Steven Spielberg, the fake. No, he did a pretty good show, according to Dr. Greer. He had a preview showing of it. He got to go see the first before it's released to the public, and he had pretty positive words about it. So that's a good thing. It means it wasn't too terribly out of whack. But, you know, the fake alien invasion, that sounds like a movie, doesn't it? Well, it might not be, folks. It might not be. So anyway, that's my story. My name is William, and this is my channel. And that's some of the stuff I'd like to bring up to you over the course of the next few days, weeks, months, years, whatever the case may be. I'm going to probably let you go here now so that y'all can get back to whatever you were doing, which is probably sitting around and maybe looking at this while you're on a John or something. Good place for it, by the way. Anyway, y'all take care. Back up a minute, Willie. Come on now. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Okay, I am going to try to put this show out a couple, 3 times a week. Just depends on how often I get time to sit down and talk about it. So we'll see you down the road. This is